Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Tapping Tuesday for today. I'm really happy to be here with you. If this is your first time, welcome. If it is not your first time, welcome back. Either way, I'm super happy to have you here. I'll go through just a really quick explanation of what we do. We engage for the next hour in the overwhelm and trauma release technique called EFT, known as emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. Now, I don't go into a deep explanation of what this technique is or all the science behind it, the different aspects of it. We just jump into it and we do it together. If you don't know what it is or you feel insecure in your ability to utilize it, don't worry. You can follow after me and you will have it down by the end of this, no problem. If you are curious more about how the technique works, why the different things are that we're doing, what purpose do they have, what's the science behind it, all of that is on our channel. I've got literally hundreds of videos for you that you can peruse to find all of those answers. The channel is EFT Universe. Just here on YouTube, just type that in the search bar and you'll be able to find multiple playlists that you can look through. You can always email me questions afterwards. But for here, what we're going to do is tap together. Now, the way you can participate in that is if you want to put something into the chat, I will incorporate whatever it is that you put in there as good as I can for all of us to tap on together. What that could look like is anything that you feel is in your way or something that you want to have that you don't. It doesn't have to be something super clear. Like an overwhelm or an event, a traumatic event in your past. It could be something like, I don't know, my heart just always feels heavy. Even when I'm happy, I still feel really heavy. Put it in the chat and we'll see what we can do for it. And I will show you how, even if what we're tapping on doesn't pertain to you specifically, you can still adjust it to be effective for you so that by the end of this time together, you still feel better in your body and hopefully more empowered and have some ideas of helping yourself to move forward and whatever it is that is currently in your way. If you don't want to put it in the chat, something that you can do instead is email me. My email is at the top of the chat. It's also amanda@eftuniverse.com. Ahead of time, I need at least 24 hours so that I can be sure that I see it in my email pop up, and then I can bring it up anonymously if it's something that you just don't want to put out there online for everybody to notice. Some things can be, feel really vulnerable, and I get that. So I'm happy to assist you in tapping on it in a more private manner. Alrighty. I'm going to say hi. Hi, Lauren. First time back in a few weeks. Oh, well, welcome back. I'm glad that you're here. Hi, Violet. Anxiety and migraines. Got it. Hi, Richard. Starting to accept things I cannot change. Oh, that's a big one. Thank you for that suggestion. Yes. Guitar. It's actually a ukulele. See the size to my hand. It's little. And I'm learning, but thank you. Yes, I blinged it out before I learned how to play it. So if that tells you anything about my personality, I glitterified it. I want to put out just a little PSA to our community real fast. We're getting into the time of year. Well, I guess depending on where in the world you live, you might be coming out of winter. But here where I am, we're going into it, where the days are getting a little bit darker, faster. There's a little bit more notice of illness being spread. And it's potentially adding to whatever stress or overwhelm that you're currently dealing with. And some tools that you can have for that, along with sitting down and doing an official tapping session. Remember, anything sensory. We have these 5 senses that are constantly giving information to our subconscious brain, and all of that adds up. So if you can give yourself, I have my blanket, and it's just so soft. It's such a soft blanket, and I have it wrapped around my waist so that every time my arms bump up against it, I just get that really nice sensory experience, and that's happy for me. And so my brain gets that tiny little, oh, and then I get that little dopamine boost, right? Anything that you can do like that for yourself throughout today. Like right now, I have my heater blowing on me so that I can have the warmth, the amount of warmth that feels really good for me without having to wear a jacket. That just feels a little soothing, and it's giving me little boosts to help even out maybe the extra impact that I'm having otherwise. You can do this with tapping as well. If you're sitting and you've got a little bit of time, just choose a spot that you can tap on. It doesn't have to be in a series. You can move around if you want to. You don't have to say anything. You don't even have to think anything. Just try to be still and tap and give yourself at least 1 full minute. If you have to set a timer so that you can give yourself that space to tap, do. I would say 2 to 3 minutes of just a gentle tapping. And you'll notice that after about 30, 45 seconds in, you'll just have a little bit of relaxation. Maybe you'll sigh, maybe you'll yawn. And it's a good little reset to your body for in that moment. It's not going to address anything in a deep sense, but again, just little pieces that you're giving yourself to help your subconscious brain not add all of that stress all together to give you this great sum at the end of the day. You can whittle away at it as you go throughout your day. Okay, just wanted to offer that to you. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get centered and grounded, and then we will jump into our tap for today. So let's just do it in our normal way, different focusing on places on our body. Now, if this is new to you, you don't have to check for the places that I mention. It's more I want you to just think about where they are. This is a really nice, gentle way for you to bring your attention back into the present moment and into your body in a very safe space. Okay. You can close your eyes for this if you want to. Go ahead and take a breath to whatever depth feels comfortable for you. Okay, and now I want you to think about where the tops of your ears are in space. Where are the tops of those ears, your right and your left? Where are your ears right now? And remember to breathe. And how about your jaw? All the way around from the top of where it connects to your cheekbones, back around to where it connects kind of back by your ears, and that space all underneath where your tongue rests. Where is your jaw? And remember to breathe. And how about your shoulders? Where are your shoulders in space right now? From the top, the outside, the front, and the back. Even that inside edge where it connects to the trunk of your body. Where are your shoulders right now? And how about the palms of your hands, even to where the extension of your fingers are? That whole side of your hands. Where are your hands right now? And remember to breathe. How about the inside of your hip bones? That inside curve of that nice hip bone that you've got on either side. Where is that right now? How is that space doing? Does it feel tight? Is it in pain? Is it inflamed? Does it feel nice and grounded? And how about the backs of your knees? Where are the backs of your knees right now? And remember to breathe. And lastly, how about the bottoms of your feet? Back from where your heels are, stretching across your arches to the tips of your toes, that whole space that is the bottom of your foot. Your right foot and your left. Where are those right now? And let's take one more breath. And let it out. Okay, I'm going to set an intention for our session today. You can join me if you want to. It is my intention that as we tap together today, But even though we are all across the world and we're experiencing different places and different time zones and just different experiences in life, that we're coming together right now and that we are a community. And that even though it's online and virtual, and even if you're watching this after the live is over, that you are still connected to us and that connection is real and the energy of it is strong and it's vibrant. And it's important that you're a part of it and that you contribute in a meaningful way. Even as you show up with your overwhelm and the issues, that there's a connection that we find in that, in being seen and being heard with each other. And that as we tap together in this supportive space, that you get to receive the insight and the comfort that you are looking to receive here today, so that when we're done, you feel better. Let's take another breath. Okay, so go ahead and reset your body if you need to wiggle, whatever that feels like for you. If you need to get your posture back from taking those deep breaths and letting it relax. I'm going to check to see if there's been any more. Oh, hi, Jocelyn. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I'm so glad you're joining us today. If you want to, go ahead and put anything in the chat that you would like to tap on, and then I'll address it as we go along. If not, that's totally fine. You can just join in, and I'll show you how you can shift it to be what it is that you would like to tap on. Alrighty, so going up to the top, anxiety and migraines. So we've got physical, serenity, accepting things that we cannot change. Let's go ahead and start with tapping on the physical. So go ahead and just take an account of your body right now, just like you're scanning from head to toe or from inside to outside, and just listen to what words pop up. And they may be kind of ambiguous. They may be really specific, like tightness in my knees, dull pain in my back, or it might be something like heaviness in my aura or tired in my bones. It doesn't have to be something that's a medical term or that you would describe to a doctor. Just listen to what your body is telling you and what words come up for you. It could also be something positive like joy in my heart, hope in my mind. Just whatever it is that your body is expressing right now, give it a moment to speak to you. And as you hear it, go ahead and choose a couple of things. And if it's a positive, something that you want to expand, or if it's something that you would like to release, something that feels like a negative space or a heavy space that you just would like to shift out of. And let's go ahead and start tapping as we're listening to our bodies. And then I'm going to say the words as I listen to these messages in my body. And as I say this message, I want you to replace that phrase with the messages that you're receiving. So make it specific to you. Like I'll say this message. I want you to say the message in my heart, or this feeling in my heart, the aching in my knees, whatever it is. But make it very specific to you so that your brain, as it's listening, knows what it's paying attention to. As I focus in on my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I allow myself to receive the messages that my body is speaking right now, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. As I receive these messages, I allow them to be valid in my experience. And as I validate them, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. These messages this message from my body. This message in my body. This voice in my body. This voice that I may appreciate and I may not appreciate. Whether or not I appreciate this message and this voice in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. I may hear a message very clearly. I may not hear a message very clearly. Whether or not I'm very clear on what my body is saying to me right now, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I still offer this point of connection to my body. And I trust that it is enough to offer this collaboration, no matter how clear of a message I'm getting at this time. This message. This message from my body. As I receive this message, I may have feelings about it. I may have judgments about it. I may have logical thoughts about it. I may have experiences connected to it. Even though all of these things are valid to be connected to my experience, I give myself permission to release them right now and allow myself to have this space with my message that's clear and quiet from any emotion, from any judgment, from any thoughts, from any plans of action, and from any events that are coming up. I can allow those to be paused for right now. But I wonder if I'm pausing all of those things connected to this message, what's left? Why would I still be connecting to this message if I'm dismissing all of those things? Aren't those the things that I need to clear in order to shift or release or expand this message? Don't I need answers and resolutions to all of those before this message can change? Changing the message. All of the steps. Changing the message. All of the things. The message that I want. Can't have it yet. The message that I want in my body. Stuck behind all of these other things. Even if a part or all of me believes that I need to shift all of these other things before I can have the message in my body that I want, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And I'm open to a different perspective. I'm open to learning a different way. It's okay if I feel this way right now. It makes sense. I probably was taught it somewhere. After all, everything has a destination. And so there needs to be steps. There needs to be things to overcome, especially if it's something that I don't want. Well, I must be victorious. And in order to be victorious, I must conquer something. So it makes sense that I would look for what those steps would be that I would need to conquer. But I wonder, what if I didn't? What if I didn't have to go through all of those steps? Maybe it's important to still work through them, and I can certainly release things, and that will feel better for me, of course. But what if all I needed to change this message in my body is to change my mind? What? That's ridiculous. I can't just change my mind. No way. Even if I have an immediate thought, such as this, about trying this out, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself and hold space. Maybe it won't work. Maybe it is really silly. But what would it matter to try? It wouldn't hurt anything. I'm not losing anything by trying it. And what if it worked? What if something this silly and out there as a solution was actually my solution? Well, I wouldn't want to miss my chance. So maybe I can allow myself to be willing to try something, even if part of me says it won't work. And even if part of me says it's too simple. And even if part of me says it's silly to try. I am okay with trying silly things, especially ones that there's no downside to trying it. I wonder, how could I have a strong resolve against something that feels so powerful in my body? It already has so much permission to be here, such a history with me. Maybe I even identify with it. How can I change this message in my body? What can I choose so powerfully that I actually believe it? Believing my choice. Believing my change. Permission to believe what I choose. Permission for what I want to be possible. Permission for what I want to be possible right now. Permission. My permission. My belief. My body. I wonder, is this an all or nothing situation? or I have to get it right the first time completely and absolutely 100%, or I don't ever try again, or I failed and that's that. Is that what this is? I don't think so. Maybe a part of me is afraid that it is. But what if I allow that to fade away for now and I give myself permission to discover this, to discover my belief and offer it support with time as I feel is appropriate, as I feel I can trust, as feels good. But as I receive these pieces, however incremental they are, I hold on to them and I commit to being resolute to them, whatever they are. And maybe this will happen quickly. Maybe this will happen over time. But even if this happens over time, it's still an answer. It still isn't giving me any negative outcome. And even a response over time puts me in a much better place than I am right now. So I give myself permission to not make this a pass fail, to not make this an all or nothing, but to allow it to come in pieces in whatever way that looks like. But I wonder, what's the first piece? Can I find this first piece right now? Yes. No. Whether or not I currently believe I can find this first piece right now, I deeply and completely accept myself, and I give myself permission to try to receive the message that I want in my body, and to release this message that I don't want in my body. Maybe instead of trying to let go of something that's so interwoven, I could just give it a buddy. I could give this old thing a new thing. And maybe this new thing can be seen as a comfort, something to alleviate this old space. It could be seen as something that kind of cancels it out, makes it not have a need to be there. I can give that a try. An offering. An offering to my body. A companion. A companion to this space in my body. An answer. An answer that my body is asking for. Receiving my answer. Receiving this companion. And I may know exactly what that should be right now. I may be a little confused. Whether or not I know exactly, hold space for myself to try and experiment. See what fits, what feels good, what I keep for now, and what stays for a long time, and what shifts, however fast I need it to. I allow myself to have all of the solutions that I need. There's no limitation on this. I can receive 100 solutions a day and put them into this space in my body if I need them. As I allow myself this journey to receive my solutions in a way that feels safe and comforting for my body, I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a breath. Nicely done. So go ahead and just take a moment and check back into your body. Even if you struggle to be more specific, just see what the messages are now in your body. See if your body feels more heard, more seen, and if whatever you were experiencing before feels a little bit better. Alrighty. Due to procrastination, due to failure. Hi, Paula. Alrighty. So we've got accepting things I can't change and procrastination due to fear of failure. So, a familiar thread between those two that I feel I'm seeing is feeling a little powerless, not feeling able to create an outcome that's desired. Um, Even in accepting things that we cannot change, a lot of times it feels like, well, I just have to deal with whatever this ends up being. There's no empowerment in it other than I just have to accept what is. And having a different way to look at that can feel better. And procrastination due to fear of failure, of course, feels like, well, I don't have any control over this. I don't know how this is going to end up, but I don't feel confident in myself in this. So I'm going to go from that angle if that doesn't quite fit for you. And however this may address what you're going through, feel free to change the phrasing that I'm using. You can even turn the volume down on your computer as we're going through this. You'll know that we're done when I stop tapping and we take a breath. That's usually my signal for that. And then you can turn the volume back up. So those are my suggestions for that. I'm going to read what Violet wrote real fast. My body wants to rest. Oh, yay. Thank you for letting me know that, Violet. I'm so happy for that. Okay. So finding my power, I think, is the phrase I'm going to use. Finding my power in this situation. And if you have a better phrasing for that, go ahead and use that as we go. Okay. As I consider this situation in my life, I feel like I'm struggling to find my power. Even though I feel this struggle to find my power, I choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I accept that this situation is hard. I acknowledge the way I'm feeling about this. It's okay that this feels hard. It's okay if I feel incapable, if I feel small, if I'm just having trouble trusting myself and trusting my abilities, or trusting that it's going to feel okay. Even if none of this actually feels okay. And I'm having trouble acknowledging that any of this is fine, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I don't like the way I feel. I want to feel more confident. I want to feel more empowered. I want to feel like I have a way for this to end well. And even though I don't know what that looks like right now, I can choose to deeply and completely accept myself. This situation, my power, my lack of power, my lack of power in this situation, my current perspective, my current choices, whether I appreciate or I don't appreciate my current perspective and my current choices, I affirm right now that I deeply and completely accept myself. I accept that this is where I am. I validate that this is where I am. Of course, this is where I am. This situation affects me, and I have a lot of feelings associated with it. And I have a desired outcome, and I don't know how to get there. So it makes sense that I would have emotions associated with these feelings. I wonder, what importance am I placing on these emotions that I'm feeling? Of course, they're important, but am I translating them and taking them as what it must mean about my ability? Am I connecting my current emotions to my belief in myself? My current emotions, my current level of belief in myself. My current level of belief in this outcome. Even if I have been judging my ability according to my current emotions and beliefs, I deeply and completely accept myself. It would make sense if I was doing this. I think that's pretty common. But I wonder, what if I didn't? What would it look like if I could separate the two? Because isn't it true that there have been times in my life where I've believed differently in a different situation, where I have felt more confident in my ability, and I have felt more trust or faith or belief in the potential outcome? I wonder what's so different in that situation versus this one. Is it the circumstance? Is it the environment? Is it the connection maybe to something that I have to work through from just past experiences, past baggage? Whatever the connection might be that I have allowed to offer me my current definition, I hold space to release that for now, and explore this thought. To explore this thought of, if I could choose, what do I want to believe? And what do I want to feel? What do I want to feel? Permission to feel. Permission to believe. Permission to choose. I can't choose what I believe. That's silly. The whole point of believing in something is that you see a pattern forming and then you come to a conclusion, right? Even if right now I'm having some pushback on allowing myself to choose what I believe, I allow that to release and give myself permission to continue to explore this. Of course, there's truth in looking at patterns, but I wonder, what pattern am I choosing to focus on? What pattern through this experience am I seeing? And are there other choices? Are there other choices of patterns? Maybe this situation is difficult, but haven't I come through difficult situations before? What patterns of overcoming do I have? What patterns of solutions have I had? Is there a different pattern that I can choose to lean into, that I can choose to put my belief in? A different pattern. A different belief. I may be able to think of something right away and really feel good about it. I may be struggling to think of something. Whether or not this is easy for me, or I'm having a little bit of trouble, I hold space. I hold space for the truth that a lot of different patterns exist, and a lot of different perspectives, and a lot of different information about this experience exists. And I do have a choice. And I do give myself permission to explore those choices. And I may be able to choose into this pretty easily. It may take me some work, and it might be over time. And this experience may come to an end before I really figure it all out. Even if I don't get 100% there, even 10% is better than where I am now. 10% would feel better than nothing. So I give myself permission for whatever success I can find in this, and allow that to be a level up, even if it's 1% at a time. And as I give myself this permission to see things and receive things, to believe new things, and to find my empowerment there, I also choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's take a breath. Hope that's helpful. Okay, let's see. We have enough time for another. Hi, Dr. Scott. Sometimes you have to sign in. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, YouTube has their rules. Grateful for the platform, but I understand your frustration. Oh, I'm so glad. Yay, that was helpful. And is it Iona? Am I saying that correctly? Feel free to phonetically spell things out for me. I do want to get your name correctly so that you can feel completely seen. Yay, Annette. Ilona. Did I say that right? Ilona. That's beautiful. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yay. Let's see. All right. Give me something, guys. We've got enough time for a little bit shorter of a tap. We could do something more on a positive end, something that's more of a close. Or if one of you has something heavy on your mind. Okay, preparing for surgery. Thank you for that, Amanda. Preparing for bariatric surgery. So there would be a lot behind that, right? The implications behind why that's something that is an answer for you, and what you went through to get to this answer, how you're feeling about it being your answer. If it's an okay answer for you, if it's something that you feel is kind of a last resort, if you're feeling really positive and excited about it, if you're kind of holding yourself to some other standard where even though now you have this answer, you're still shaming yourself. There's some grief. It can be really complex. And the emotions behind it, as well as, any risks that you're considering that happen just with having a surgery. And then the outcome of the life change that's going to be. So all of those things can be addressed to something else. So if you're not going through a surgery, a life change that you are reaching for, that you're just now stepping into, that you've been begging yourself to initiate and you just haven't gotten there. Anything that you are holding against yourself, where you're like, well, yes, I want to step into this, but I have to finish punishing myself first. Or something positive that you can see that there's really nothing in your way anymore, but you're really having a hard time giving yourself permission to receive it. Maybe you're not quite sure why. So any of those, or if you've got an idea of something off of something that I said, that is what you can tap on right now. Fear that I won't make the lifestyle changes to make it successful. Okay, great. So befriending self, accepting small increments and improvements. Very helpful. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. So a lack of self-support. There's something I'm trying to dig it out. There's a phrase that my brain is trying to offer. I'm going to go with I don't trust myself. Oh, which is what you just said. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Amanda. All right. So allowing you a few seconds to think about just a circumstance in which you lack trust for yourself. Okay. As I consider this situation in my life, I acknowledge that I'm really struggling to trust myself. Even though right now I'm really struggling to trust myself, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even if that's really hard to say, even if I feel like I really shouldn't, I do right now commit. No matter where I am with this, I commit to deeply and completely accepting myself. It's okay. that right now I'm struggling. It's okay that I don't trust myself, even though that feels bad to say. And I may have emotions associated with it where I feel sad or I feel embarrassed or I feel guilt or grief that I can't trust myself. It just doesn't sound or feel very good. Even with all of that, I still choose to right now hold space for me to deeply and completely accept myself. I offer compassion to these parts of me who can look back at my life and say, yep, well, I didn't stand up for myself there. Yep, I didn't follow through there. Even if I can see a really strong pattern of me not following through, and it's hard. And I'm using that as my proof to worry about trusting myself. I give myself permission to release that for right now. If I really want to, I can pick it back up later. But I wonder, what could my other options be? If I don't want to hold on to this, but I don't know what else to do, what could I try? As I hold space for a different perspective and something to try to believe in myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Believing. Permission to believe in myself. Permission to believe in myself regardless of anything else. Even if I feel like I've never followed through, even if I feel like I've given myself endless amounts of chances and I've never succeeded, I choose right now to hold space for myself in this. Otherwise, what am I doing? If I'm not holding space for my success, am I holding space for my failure? Am I feeding my disbelief? Am I setting myself up to ridicule myself? To say, yep, knew it, saw this coming. I don't want that. And it's possible that this is a learned behavior. I learned this through maybe my family, my environment, my culture, my religion, or just conclusions that I came to. And I may not be exactly certain where they came from. But I give myself permission to let go of all of that right now. And maybe I need to go back and tap through things to really let it go from everywhere. But I give myself permission to radically release it from this. I protect this space. I really want this. And I really want this belief in myself. And if I really get to choose, this is where I choose to start it. Even if I feel foolish, even if it feels scary and vulnerable, I choose it. This is it for me. This place right now. But what does that mean? What does it mean that I'm choosing this for myself? It feels good, but what? What does it mean that I'm choosing to believe in myself? My meaning, my intention my value in my belief. Well, I wonder, this could be the first time I'm choosing to believe in myself. I may not have a clue on how to do this. And maybe I don't even have anyone in my life that I can use as a guide. That's okay. Still doing it anyway. I'm going to be so stubborn about this. I'm going to be the most stubborn of anything I've ever been stubborn about. I will believe in myself for this. I don't care if I stumble and fumble and try a lot of different things before I figure out what really works. I can do that. I can do that, and I will find my target, which is my success in believing in myself. I wonder, do I put a lot of pressure on myself with this belief? Does believing in myself right now look like immediate success? Like I don't have any setbacks? Like I don't have any learning curves? Am I telling myself that, okay, self, in order for me to believe in you, you gotta be perfect about everything every single time, even though it's a new space, even though it's a new experience? I suppose I could look at it that way, but I don't think I want to. So I wonder, if I'm not holding myself to those standards, what standards could I choose? What are my options? My options for my belief system. My options for building my own trust. My options for building my success. Releasing what doesn't work. Receiving what does work. My options for success. My measurements for success. I wonder, what support do I already have in this that maybe I haven't used before, or maybe I felt like I didn't deserve to use? What places can I begin utilizing, or at least give a try? Maybe my doctors. Maybe just being bluntly truthful with them. Even if part of me says, they're going to judge you, they're going to doubt you, they're going to shame you. I suppose those are possible, but maybe they're not very likely. Either way, I think I'm kind of doing that to myself anyway. What if they're kind? What if they're supportive? What if they're understanding? After all, this isn't new to them. It's just new to me. They've probably heard it all before. And what if it could relieve some of these anxieties and stress and concerns? And maybe they have really good ideas for support. What if I could find a group of people that used to be in the same place that I'm in now, but now they're further down the road than me. Maybe they have really good ideas and suggestions. That could be a place. Finding trust. Finding trust in myself. I do have options. I do have a history. Just because I have a history with certain options doesn't mean that has to be my future. I can continue it, but I don't have to. And even if trusting myself is new and bumbly and my choices to try and trust in myself don't always pan out, one thing I can lean on is my consistency. What if I could trust that I just won't give up and that I will show up, whether today it's 1%, 70%, or 1,000%. I allow myself to feel really good about showing up. And I find support from there. As I allow myself this journey of this choice, this really stubborn choice I've now made, that I will learn to trust myself. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and let's take a breath. Nicely done. Thank you so much for those suggestions. Those were wonderful topics to tap on. I hope that you feel better, that this hour has been relieving for you, insightful for you, and empowering for you. I have loved spending this time together with you this week. As you have thoughts, questions throughout the week, thoughts, suggestions, I do a video every Friday. Feel free to offer anything for that. I'm here for you to support you in any way that I can. Again, my email is at the top of the chat if you want to reach out. Otherwise, I will be here again next week. It's always on Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Take care. I'll be thinking about you. I've got you with me. Have a wonderful week. Mwah.